Hello and welcome, I'm Peasant, and in this run I'm going to be playing as Fangs on a 0 difficulty run, so no adversary. This is kind of aimed at beginners, so I'm going to over-explain things somewhat, a lot more than in my higher difficulty runs. So yeah, hopefully this is useful for anyone that's trying to get to grips with this spirit. Okay, first things first, we've got our first decision, which is where we place our opening presents. You almost always are going to want to place it on a solo board in with the other beast. On a bigger board, you're probably going to want to place it, somewhere useful, like let's say inland for ocean, or somewhere where the beast is in a place that might be awkward for the spirit to deal with. However, you probably want to avoid it being on a jungle because you want it to be on a different terrain type in general. Anyway, the reason for that is because terrifying chase. It's really nice if you can actually use this to gain some fear and do some pushing. And it's less you're less likely to get that possibility if you are placing it on a jungle, because you're less likely to get an explore that goes in there, for example. Anyway, that's enough over explaining of that. So we've got our opening explore and growth options. So first thing you want to do is gain a power card, and you always want to look at the card first. Okay. Right, so ideally you would want all of your powers with Fangs to have a beast on them, the beast element, or sorry, animal element. The trouble is we've just drawn a selection that don't have the animal element, so thanks game. This is going to be a 0 difficulty run. You're going to make it easy for me. Failing that, you like plant, gift of living energy, except this is kind of terrible as well, because typically as Fangs you very rarely end up with a lot of sacred sites. Well, fine, this might be a slightly atypical 0 difficulty run then, and I think I might end up going with whatever is useful in the moment rather than whatever we'd ideally want. So the ideal would be a card with both plant and animal on it. The second next ideal is animal. We don't have that either. Yeah, so this is a bit tricky. And we're not going to be able to play on autopilot, which is very unfortunate. Gotta love that autopilot. So, what have we got here? Obviously, we don't know what our explorer is just yet. We might... we have a couple of options in the beginning. We can either go... The best option generally is to go with bottom track, building towards 3 actions, and this bottom row, which is amazing. This top row is a bit lackluster. If you disagree, feel free to make a comment about it. But you can activate your ranging hunt turn 1, but it's tricky. You kind of have to go top track in order to do so. But this is we've already had a spanner thrown at us because we've been given stuff we don't really want. Because moving our presence around with our beasts is super useful, because we've got this ability here. Your presence may move with beasts, and that is handy for a lot of our abilities. Like, for example, Terrifying Chase is a 0 range power. Prey on the Builders is also a 0 range power. Okay. Okay, game. So what we're probably going to do is maybe grab this because it's going to get us 2 energy, and it's going to let us reuse a card. Gift of Constancy is one of my favourite cards, just for any spirit. It's not necessarily very good with a lot of spirits, but I love it because we can reclaim a card instead of discarding it. So this is going to be a bit odd. Let's go with the Gift of Constancy. And we always want to be placing presents. That's always your first priority. So there's going to be a town built in here and a city built in here. And then, of course, there's going to be a ravage on a subsequent turn. If we wanted to prevent this build by using Ranging Hunt, we could do that by playing these 2 cards and going top track. I don't think that's worthwhile. I think it stunts your whole game plan to do that. So I'm not going to do that. We're going to just let this go. So we are going to place a presence somewhere else. So we can only place in jungles or in with our beasts. So that gives us these options here. That's funny. I'm used to be able to play this first bit on a kind of semi-autopilot, so I'm having to actually direct some brain power to thinking as well as talking, limiting the limited peasant brain resources. Okay, so I think the awkward thing is, part of me wants to use constancy to gain energy at the start because we are a bit tight on energy, but it means we have a very nothingy first turn. Very nothingy indeed. But what we could do is, because we're using constancy, we can actually use a card that we typically use turn 2. Like these 2 near the jungle and Teeth Gleam, we would typically use turn 2 in order to use Ranging Hunt, because they give us the plant and beast. And turn 2, we will have 3 actions. So I think what I'm probably going to do is go with Gift of Constancy and then one of these 2. So we can either destroy an Explorer, one range from a jungle, which could be handy. It could mean we don't have to worry about a build next turn, or it could do nothing for us. That's the downside. Or Teeth Gleam, adding more beasts. And I think with Fangs, the more beasts on the board, the merrier, because they really do add a lot to your kind of power level. Yeah, so I think I'm going to place this here. And then we also might want to be thinking about future ranging hunts, because we have the ability in our growth, in our spirit phase, to turn a presence into a beast. And typically you want to do this a lot. You can only do 1 a turn. And what I'm thinking about now is, is it useful to turn one of these into a beast this turn? And I actually don't think it is. No, I don't think it is, but that's more on gut, because I'm not in with any, my presence isn't in with any invaders here. And you don't really want to go too low. Especially if I'm probably going to let both of these lands blight next turn. Okay, so we're going to go with Gift of Constancy. That's going to gain me 2 energy. So I'm actually going to be... This is going to be a pretty squiffy Fangs game. So I might record another less squiffy one as well. So adding the beast is a bit like infrastructure for me. And if I add a beast in here this turn, then it means that when I use Ranging Hunt, I can gather a beast in and do 2 damage next turn, which would basically mean that this land, the town that's going to be built next turn, would be destroyed and it wouldn't blight. Okay, that sounds good. So we're going to go with Teeth Gleam to place a beast in there. And Gift of Constancy is going to give me 2 energy, so I'm not going to be too broke. Okay, so Gift of Constancy, gain 2 energy. We have these builds in the wetlands. And we have Explores. And so I'm going to place this beast in here. Let me just consider what's happened. So we've got the Explores here and here. Yeah, this is unfortunate. This is in here. This is a squiffy one. Okay, so I'm going to get to reclaim a card. So I'm going to reclaim Teeth Gleam, because that's going to give me the plants and beast that I need in order to Ranging Hunt in here and to destroy this town. Okay, so I'm going to keep that. And so there's going to be a blight going down here this turn. There's going to be a town built in here. But I could Ranging Hunt in here next turn, potentially. So I need to think about that when I'm positioning my beasts. I might push a beast in here after the Ranging Hunt. See, Fangs can be tricky. Same with Thunderspeaker. Kind of powerful, but can be tricky. And Constancy has given us more energy than we might expect to have. So I think I'm going to go with gaining a power card first. Okay, these are more like it for elements. The trouble with Nature's Resilience is that it requires sacred sites, and they're not really a thing we're big on as Fangs. Prowling Panthers is nice because it's extra beasts. Call to Bloodshed is also very strong. I think I'm going to go with Prowling Panthers. It also has the elements we need for this Frenzied Assault ability. Now I don't use this that often because I feel a bit sentimental about my beasts. Probably a bit more sentimental about my beasts than I am about my Dahan. In reality. Okay, let's add a presence to a jungle, and I'm probably going to turn a presence into a beast this turn. because only one blight is going to come down. Now, typically you want to keep, I'd say probably a rule of thumb might be you want 4 presents on the board. And that is because there's one of the Blighted Island cards will remove 3 presents. And so you can instantly lose with that. Okay. So this is meant to be a beginner-friendly run, but it's an atypical, weird run. But I guess sometimes that's how it is. Okay, so this presence goes either in a jungle or in with a beast. This beast, we actually don't need an additional beast in here because there's going to be a ravage. So this Dahan is going to take care of this remaining explorer. We actually do want a beast in here, potentially. But actually, I'm going to put a presence in here and turn it into a beast. And I think it's good to have a beast kind of in every tile on the board if you can manage it. Some of the event cards that pop up will basically give you a fear for every beast that's in with invaders, which is pretty wonderful. Okay, so in order to use this ability, we need 2 plants. We only have 2 plant cards, so we're using them, and then we need to use any of these. So we've got our Ranging Hunt as long as we play a 3rd card. So we're going to swoop in here, destroy this town, and then push probably in here so that we can deal with this next turn without too much difficulty. Though we could just add another beast in. And we have a build in this jungle here which we can prevent very straightforwardly with Prey on the Builders. Yeah, and we like that. And because this has a blight in it, and notice that Ranging Hunt can't target lands with blight. So this is an awkward land for us compared to any of the other lands on the board. So I think preventing the build here is nice. And you'll notice now we've got the damage. Okay, looks okay. So we're going to prey on the builders here. Now I could gather this this beast into here, but I'm not going to do it. I think it's more useful to have them spread out most of the time. Okay, so we're not going to gather in, but we have prevented that build with Prey on the Builders. And now we're going to Ranging Hunt in here. And I'm going to leave a beast in here again because there's a blight in there. So we'll bring this in. We could actually move our presence, and I've not thought about this. Do we want to move our presence? I'm going to leave it there, I think. Yeah, I'm going to leave that presence there, but just because it's a bit more central. Actually, no, I am going to move it. No, I'm going to leave it there. Okay, so we're in here, going to do 2 damage, destroy this town. And then we push our beasts. I'm going to push 1 in here so we can bring it in here, potentially, next turn. And then this, I'm actually going to leave it there because it's in with an explorer. Oh, the explorer's about to die. Yeah, I'll push it in here because this explorer is not going to be with us for very long. And we have an event card. So explorers have an extra health. That's no problem. Here's that one I was talking about. So each beast is going to generate a fear and they all move. And we get an extra explorer. So that's a fear. That's a fear. I mean, that's a lot of fear for not much work. And then we're resolving the bottom part now. So an extra Dahan in an inland land with Dahan. I think in general, Dahan are a bit vulnerable on their own to things like events. So I think I'm going to put one in there. Ooh, I think someone's knocking at my door for some reason. False alarm. No one was knocking at all. Okay, we've got an unrest token to add to a town. There was only one option, so it did it for me. We have this Ravage, and that has been taken care of here. And in this space here, we have had a Blight placed. We had the build here. And we're now into the slow phase. So the new information we have is these desert explorers. And we've got this Ravage next turn. So where are we with our fear? So Teeth Gleam's a kind of cool card because it's got this option to gain to put out 3 fear. It's a lot of fear. But it's not really an investment in your infrastructure. I mean, in this case, it would get me another fear card. And I tend to really favour getting the extra fear card if it will push me up to 2 to Terra level 2 or Terra level 3. Otherwise, I tend to hold off. It's in a general thing. I don't know if that's a useful piece of information or not. Okay, let's decide where we're putting this. Okay, so we actually don't need an additional beast in here, because if we destroy this town with Ranging Hunt next turn, this singular explorer will be destroyed in the Ravage, because they'll do a damage and then these will fight back and kill them. So we don't actually need another beast in there. So we're gonna want to put a beast in somewhere else with invaders, or somewhere we're planning on a big attack. We could even put a beast in this coastal mountain, because then we can destroy it just with our Ranging Hunt. Pretty nice. We've also got a explorer we can destroy, and the nice thing about this is that it will prevent a build, so it's, you know, wonderful. If we destroy this explorer, the thing is we could actually prevent this with Prey the Builders next turn. This one does have Dahan in it, so it can kind of take care of itself by after the build it ravages, and then the Dahan will fight back. But we are playing with events here, so there is a chance that that will all go wrong. So I actually think I'm going to go with Tuna the Jungle here in this one, and I think I'm going to add a beast in here, and that means I've got the possibility of doing in this land what I'm going to do in this land this turn, which is to swoop in with a neighbouring beast, destroy the town. Yeah, so that feels pretty good. Okay, so we're back to growth, and we're now at the magical time where Reclaim 1 spots start popping up. I've got to love a Reclaim 1 spot. We have been a bit unfortunate in our in not gaining cards with lots of beasts on. If we gain a power card now, we might be okay to skip the reclaim cards option. It costs us an energy, so it's a thinking and talking is a tricky business. Yeah, I think we do this, and then possibly we do this and rely on the Reclaim 1 if we're able to gain a card that gives us plant and beast. So maybe that's a low likelihood, but I think it's what I like. Wow, we're just not getting offered many cards with animal elements on them, or beast elements, or whatever they're called. And again, this is one that likes sacred sites. We're not really big on sacred sites as a general rule. Okay, so we might be forced to reclaim this turn. It's not a big deal, but it does slow us down a lot, because getting down here is really how we ramp up in power. If we get going with a kind of minor power approach. Not really sure I like any of these particularly. Blight removal is pretty nice for us as Fangs, because Blight is a problem. Could take this and then just not use it. Yeah, I think I'm going to go with this. So it's going to possibly remove Blight from sand or wetland. So this is one of those cases where the elements, the one that's best for our elements is this, because it has the beast on, but it's just mostly unusable. If it was a 0 cost, it might have been a bit more viable. It's a very good card in a lot of circumstances, but here I don't think so. So I'm going to go with this because it's going to help us keep... Oh, but this also needs a sacred site. Well, what a squiffy run. We've even got the possibility of using Drought, because we have Sun. We have enough to get the threshold on Drought and do a lot of damage. I'm going to take it. I'm probably not going to use it. Okay, so I am going to reclaim here. Gift of Constancy, of course, is going to mean that I could reuse stuff, but in order to get the Ranging Hunt, we actually can't use Constancy. Okay, let's have another pop at getting a useful minor power. Okay, Call of the Dahan Ways is pretty sweet. It has the animal element on it. We've got a few useful moon cards. But yeah, no, we're getting an interesting selection of not really what we want. So we have 3 plays. We kind of have to play things with beasts on this turn in order to take care of this in a kind of, in a nice way. Razor Sharp Undergrowth could be a pretty nice way of preventing this build. The thing is, we already can prevent it with Prey on the Builders. This is a 0 cost card. Now, we've gone a bit slower than we might have done because of not getting the ideal cards here. But we are likely to end up with a lot of plays, so the 0 cost stuff is pretty valuable. And the greenery is good. We're not going to be able to play it for a while, though. Call of the Dahan Ways could be pretty nice. The thing that's easy to miss is they need to actually the Explorer or Town need to be in with a Dahan, and I miss that sometimes. We actually do have a good number of Dahan here. Yeah, I think I'm going to go Shadows of the Burning Forest, but that's more of a gut one mainly because it's cheap. Okay, so we've got 3 plays, and we have to play these 2. Otherwise, we're not going to be able to use our Ranging Hunt. We also need to play one of these 3 cards that has Beast on. So Prey on the Builders prevents this build, which is wonderful. Wonderful. Yeah, so that turn has basically been decided for us purely based on what we have to do. Though we don't really have to do it. We could let this land blight, but I don't think it's worthwhile. I mean, we could even turn this into a beast so that we don't lose a presence. There's a handy little trick with Fangs. If it looks like a land's going to go... yeah, let's go with that. So I'm going to Prey on the Builders in here. And range... oh yeah, it wants me to gather. I don't want to gather a beast in there. That build's prevented. So we'll bring a beast in here. We'll destroy this town. So this guy's going to die in the Ravage. So we'll push these guys out. Where they can potentially do more stuff. Now, because this land has a blight in, I can't use Ranging Hunt in there anyway. So it might have been tempting to stack beasts in there, but no. Okay, and then I could move my presence from here, but I don't think I want to. Yeah, I don't think I want to do that. So I'm going to leave this in here, and that's largely because of these targeting restrictions. So I'm not going to move my presence there. Okay, and our event here, so Beast Prowl, lovely stuff, and then pushing Dahan, and pushing an Explorer, 1 land in land. Oh, we're in stage 2. So in the single land with most invaders, that's this one. We will be pushing out. So we've been fortunate in that we don't have to push anywhere that's about to ravage. Let's push the town towards the coast and push the Explorer in with this. Because the other thing to bear in mind is we've got this Beast Prowl. So if we push push them in there, that's an extra fear for us, which is pretty disgusting. I mean, that's 5 fear, but not a lot of work. Okay, we can gather an Explorer into a land with buildings or a town into a land with cities. So there's no build in here. There's no build in here, so we can't prevent a build with this ability. It'd be nice to maybe move this guy out of there. Don't think it matters too much. Or actually, I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to gather this town into here. So I'm going to kind of have a 1 problem land rather than potentially 2 problem lands. Skip the next normal explore. During the next invader phase, draw an additional explore card. This is such a squiffy one. I always hope that these zero runs are going to be a kind of fairly typical, you know, this is a bit wild. Okay, so we've got the Ravage here that doesn't matter. Ravage here doesn't matter. We're in the slow phase. Well, this is next turn. Crikey, peasant. Thrown off with all the squiffing that's going on. Okay, so next turn, there's a Ravage in here that doesn't matter. And then we're going to be into 2s. And then we're going to get 2 of them. So if we can prevent explores, that's going to be pretty useful. It's unfortunate that there's blight in here, because it means we can't swoop in here with beasts and kill this city. Because if we were able to remove the city, that would prevent potentially quite a lot of explores, because there just wouldn't be any buildings to explore from. I wonder if there's a way we can do something about that. We might even want to switch to major powers at this point. Go with the gaining energy. We've got lots of cheap stuff in hand as well. What a strange playthrough. Okay. Okay, let's remove an explorer from... Let's remove this one. It might seem a bit paranoid, because it is. But events can add damage that you're not expecting. And then let's add a beast somewhere where there aren't beasts. I'd love to be able to destroy the city. It's tempting to go for a major power just for the possibility of destroying that city next turn. Maybe if I placed a beast in there... Oh, I couldn't place a beast in there, I don't think. Yeah, because it requires there to be no blight. So I think I'm going to look at a major power. I mean, we may as well just make it as squiffy as possible. What have we got? Jungle Hungers, huh? Well, that's a major power. So, of course, no, there's no beast elements here. There's no beast synergy. But Jungle Hungers is just shouldn't be too hard for us to trigger the threshold on. We've already got Shadows of the Burning Forest and Teeth Gleam, and we can even reclaim Teeth Gleam. We can only reclaim Teeth Gleam if we place this reclaim one, but we're going to gain an extra energy, so we should be able to do a thresholded Jungle Hungers this turn. But it is in the slow phase, which is unfortunate. Okay, what about this option here? We've actually got a Fire Earth card and plenty of greenery lying around. We haven't actually destroyed any presents, because when we use our when we remove presents, it's not destroyed when we turn them into our beast. So we don't have... We might expect to be able to use Blazing Removal effectively, but no. Tsunami, of course, requires a sacred site. I mean, Jungle Hungers is clearly the one. I don't know why I'm thinking about this. So because we've got Jungle Hungers, we like to keep our moons and our plants over everything. Drought could be a finisher for us, though. It may be a time for Constancy to go. It was, you know, it did a lot for us. So we're going to be able to... If we play Shadows... actually, Shadows, Hungers, and then we could play any other card with greenery on it. So we could take one of these. The Ravages are fine. There's lots of Explorers, which we don't want. But so yeah, I am going to keep on placing presents, and we're going to reclaim something useful. So... Did I gain any way to remove that blight? No. But I don't need to now because I've got Jungle Hungers. Okay, so that means that the next big build-up of enemies is here on the coast. So I'm going to place another presence in there that I will turn into a beast. And I'm a bit low on energy, so I'm going to go with 2 near the jungle here. Okay, and I'm going to turn this into a beast. And we could even Jungle Hungers in here, in fact. That might even just be a lot better. So, Jungle Hungers. We're going to destroy one of these cities. Probably the city that aligns with these explorers that are going to happen. So we just need one greenery card. Oh, looks like 2 near the jungle is the greenery card. Yeah, that's fine. We can also respond to the explorer with this as well, because there are jungles adjacent to everything. That looks pretty nice. Okay. Each land with at least 2 explorers. Push 1 to an adjacent land without invaders. And distant hunt. Okay. So we can basically push a beast to a land with no blight and deal a damage in there. The only place it's actually relevant is in here. And as this land is probably going to get cleared out this turn. No, this one's actually slightly better. Let's empty this, push this one into here. We're going to leave my presence in there. Destroy that. Okay. So defend doesn't matter. Ravage doesn't matter. And we're into explorers. So if you've only played with base game, this is a funky thing that happens. These kind of doubled up cards. Yeah, it's interesting. Okay, so next turn we're going to have a jungle and a mountain build. So it's really unfortunate we couldn't destroy this city before, because if this hadn't been here, these guys would never have shown up and we'd be let off the hook. So I think probably I'm going to jungle hungers in here, just clear all this lot out. Especially as I can push a town into there. An explorer into there and get rid of them as well. Yeah, I think that's the way. So we'll do this. Push them in there. Jungle hungers in here. Clear that land. And we can 2 near the jungle as well. So I guess it's about which one of these lands do we not want the build in. And because this has blight in, we'll get rid of this one. So it's just more of a chore for us to deal with. Okay, so no ravage this turn. And these are, it's a real reprieve, really. Okay, in theory, if this blight wasn't here, we could win in the fast phase. But that blight's just sitting there teasing us. We could even go drought in the... So there's going to be a build in here and a here. If we drought there, we could, with the threshold, we could destroy the city. No, that's just silly. But I think we can very viably finish this if we... He says, being vague. So we've got the reclaim 1. The thing is, if we're going to use jungle hungers to finish this off, we actually, we kind of need the threshold to destroy the city. I actually think reclaim and gain energy and doing a very similar turn to last turn is the answer. Because what we can do, if we use Shadows of the Burning Forest, we can actually push the Explorer and the town that are going to be in here into here and then destroy them all with Jungle Hungers. But how do we do that? We'd have to... Peasant brain, because this needs 0. You need to have a presence in there in the slow phase. In order to do that, we'd have to maybe move our presence that's over here so that it ends up in here, or the presence that's here in here. So actually, what we could do, okay, I don't think we can quite do it. If we reclaim and gain, we're not going to have the energy to play Jungle Hungers. I think playing Jungle Hungers is so useful. Oh, we don't need to reclaim. Except we do need to reclaim to get the plant. Okay, fine. Fine, game. Wait, I think we can puzzle this out. Because... the thing is, if we do go with Jungle Hungers... If we go with Jungle Hungers 2 near Teeth, that's 4. We actually will get Ranging Hunt. Yeah, I think it works. I think it works. Okay, what have we got here? Anything relevant? Probably not, as we only have 3 actions, so I'm not going to think about it too much. Sky Stretch is a saw. It's very fun because it means we could do this in the fast phase. However, we need the plant in order to actually destroy the city. So I'm just going to take Gift of Power because I think the victory is in sight. It's in sniffing distance. Oh, except my plan to push from there. Okay, peasant. All right. Okay, so we've got the threshold on Jungle Hungers here. We've got the ranging hunt. But I think they're still going to end up with a town in there. Oh well, it's okay. Mistakes have been made, almost certainly. It's so squiffy. I don't think I can even brand it as a 0 run at this point. Okay. So I'm going to ranging hunt in here. Clear this land, which prevents that build. Having brought this presence with me, push the beast into here with the... Do I need the presence in there? No. This is how it works. We need the range. Ah, damn it. We need the ranging hunt. We need the ranging hunt to actually do damage, because otherwise they build here. Yeah, because we just short on elements. Actually, maybe... I like this because we'd be pushing the town and the explorer in there. The thing is, we can't finish it this turn anyway. But then we don't have the animal that we need. Okay, fine. We'll just spend this turn destroying that city. That's going to be what we do this turn. Destroying the city in this town. What other options do we have for that? Because we just need the moon green. Okay. Yeah, let's just do this. I think this is okay. It's not ideal. Certainly not ideal. But we can use ranging hunt at this point to kind of position our beast somewhere useful. So we're going to be... Yeah, it was so close. I think there might have been a way to puzzle it out. Let's push a beast into there. We don't need... Let's push a beast back into here because it's that awkward spot. And let's leave this presence where it is. And, okay. Where are we? So we're in stage 2. After advancing invader cards, perform a build step for one terrain not shown under any invader action. And then beast attack. They removing... Okay. Beast attack, huh? Okay, fine. Oh, well, beast attack might have just won me the game. Yeah. Because they prevented 2 builds there. Okay, then we've got... Yeah, well, this is possibly the squiffiest zero run yet. So there you go. I don't think that's of any help to a beginning player, but like the video if you like the video, and yeah, until next time. This might have to go in a special category of all of its own. It was a 0 difficulty run, however weird. All right, till next time.